Hello, welcome to this video. My name is Robbie and I live on a narrowboat, and I have done for the last 4 years. I've lived in pretty much all of the major cities in England, but mostly in this video I'll be giving you a picture of what it's like to take a boat through Nottingham from my perspective, and mainly just looking for pub of the week, which is what I normally would do. And in this case it's a corker, because we've got potentially the oldest pub that I've ever covered on this channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's get cranking and see what's happening on the River Trent.
Nottingham, the city of ghostly zombies.
Oh, sorry. This is Wilfred Suspension Bridge. It's a grade 2 listed, oh, who cares? Basically, if you're on a narrowboat, this is the point at which you must not pass. This is the non-navigable part of the River Trent, but to me it looks fine. I'm not sure how deep it is, but yeah, it looks wide enough, doesn't it? But you soon come to a Beeston Weir, so you wouldn't be able to get any further than that anyway. But yeah, great little stretch for rowers and canoeists, I think. Or kayakers, I don't know. The Nottingham and Beeston Canal is only about 5 miles long, and it's got one lock in the middle, and then there's one on either side, either end. Here we are on my boat, the Naughty Lass, a 42-foot narrowboat, so not too hard to reverse and spin it round into the lock. And this is actually the first lock I've done in quite a while, so I've got my nice shiny shoes on. Just cruising past this facilities point, although I did stop here and had a little nose around. It says they've got showers and toilets here, but that is a lie. Yeah, there seems to only be an LSAN, which is a toilet disposal, rubbish bin, and a tap, one of only 2 official ones. So you've got to stop off at a Marina if you get caught somewhere in the middle of this canal and ask them nicely. One of the things I love about Nottingham is the architecture, or different styles of buildings from different eras, and they're all made of this red brick, which comes just from the city being built on red sandstone. Some parts of this canal do feel a bit grimy, a little bit dodgy, but then there are other areas near to those that actually look really nice, like this old warehouse on the right, and obviously all the office blocks are brand new, but you wouldn't want to moor here. You basically just keep going until you find another boat. Safety in numbers. But it's just so funny to imagine 200 years ago this area would have been absolute squalor. It would have been just a population explosion happened in Nottingham at that time. And according to one local that I spoke to, this particular area that we're cruising through would have been considered one of the worst slums in the entire British Empire to live, with a life expectancy of between 14 and 18 years old, which is quite astonishing. Anyway, I think we're coming up to a pub now, and it's this one, not that one, this one I want to point out, Fellows, Morton and Clayton, because you would miss it if you didn't know it was there. All these people sat outside. They're actually in another place called the Canal House, and it's a Castle Rock pub, so you're not going to go too far wrong, because there's so many different types of beers and loads of space for big groups. But its gimmick of having these 2 dirty old boats inside the building I just don't think works. Next door is the place for me, Fellows, Morton and Clayton. So this is a place that's named after the most widely known carrying company, canal carrying company, and inside you've got all this amazing history and all these lovely old signs, and yeah, just quite an interesting place to just wander around, even if you're just popping in for yeah, a salad, which is what I did one day, or to catch some live music. I really like this band. They were just in there having fun. There wasn't many people watching them. They were going for it. Absolutely brilliant. They even let one of the members of the audience join in at the end. And if you're coming in or out of Nottingham via train, I can definitely recommend this micropub. This is Beerheads, for just a fantastic selection of drinks and great company. Back on the boat, we're going to go through Castle Lock now. So this is the only lock on the whole 5-mile stretch. And although you have to deal with all these horrible pigeon nests, which is pretty grim, before long you're through the lock and on your way and start seeing these lovely converted mills and warehouses again. And get a glimpse of the castle on the rock there, which is quite a sight, or it would be if it hadn't have all that scaffolding around it. So unfortunately I wasn't allowed to go in because they're renovating at the moment. Right, it's time to moor, and these are the only 2-week moorings that I can recommend on the canal. There's just this section here, so from here all the way up to the Marina. And yeah, you're pretty close to the town still, especially all the pubs. This is the old trip to Jerusalem. It's a tourist favourite. Everyone loves coming here because they believe it's the oldest pub in England. But I don't think it's as simple as that. Back in the late 90s, there was even a TV programme all about trying to find out which of these 3 pubs was the oldest. They put the bell in at the top because they believed it was the oldest building, but they couldn't prove that it was the oldest inn. So, as confused as can be, I went into the Old Salutation Inn, which according to the landlord Jay, has just strengthened its claim as the oldest pub in England.
That is actually not a Y.
Is it not?
No, that's not a Y. That is a letter that means TH. So it's the Old Salutation. Everybody pronounces it ye now, but it's actually the. Now, according to the Royal Archives, it was actually built by the Royal Butcher.
Really?
He was granted the land because he wanted the caves underneath to store meat. Now, it's where the word landlord and titled lord comes in. A titled lord could own land. Commoners couldn't own land unless they were granted it, and there was always a proviso that if they were granted the land, they had to build an inn. As buildings go, this is the oldest licensed building. I'll see you later, John. Take care.
The caves below the pub are really, really quite exciting. I mean, these date back to the 9th century, apparently, so they're even older than the building above them. And for a long time, they were just part of a farm used for servants' accommodation and brewing beer. And then fast forward to the 1600s, 1642, you've got the English Civil War, and apparently both sides met in places like this. There's also a ghost down there called Rosie, and she's a Victorian street urchin, but I didn't see her. But if you look closely at this video footage and zoom in, you'll see that the small ghostly figure is... No, it's just a reflection of my camera, isn't it? Well, if you want to find out more about Rosie and have a glimpse of her yourself, just ask behind the bar, the staff here rock, and I've worked in a number of rock bars and clubs and stuff like that, and I can tell you these guys are dedicated. Each one of them's got a tattoo of the actual logo of the pub, just dabbing on the haters, dabbing on every other bar staff in the country, so they all deserved a shot. Little taste of metal karaoke up in the attic, where you have gigs happening there as well. And if you're lucky, you might bump into this chap. This is Dave the Fishman Bartram, and he will serve you cockles until this happens.
I've got blood on my door!
I was so impressed by how the alternative music scene was represented in Nottingham. There's so many places to go shopping or hang out or meet people and watch bands. I mean, if you ever felt like your own city was becoming just a bit too safe and a bit too boring, then definitely check out Nottingham, because I reckon you'll love it. Back on the canal, here we are, enjoying the lovely moorings here by the noisy students. I love students. And so does Nottingham, because they've got 2 universities here, and they're building more accommodation on the left. And then we've got Nottingham Castle Marina, customers of which may fill up with fuel or get a pump out, or even just fill up with water. That's what I did. Just round this blue boat is the entrance to the marina. It's such a tight turning. I almost scraped all the blacking off my boat trying to get in there. But afterwards we've got all these other permanent moorers who I think they only pay about £30 a week, so it's quite a good deal. But these moorings are also owned by the marina. Well, this is it. I'm leaving Nottingham and I'm quite sad about that because it's a really, really cool city and there's so much more that I haven't seen and I just haven't had a chance to film for you. But that's just the way it is sometimes. You go to a really nice place and you only get a few days. This is the only good day at the moment, so I've got to see if I can get as far as I can and then just moor up wherever I end up. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing and liking and all that good stuff. Peace out, guys. One up. Why do people do that? I don't understand that. Right, always a secret bit at the end of the video. I'm up to something. I can't tell you what it is right now, but I am filming. I'm doing loads and loads of filming. I've got a new job, so that's why I haven't been posting too many videos. Sorry about that, but it's just, yeah. You'll see, by the end of this year, you'll see what my master plan has been, and you'll be like, oh, I get it. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, until then, thank you very much for supporting me. Bye-bye.